Okay, so welcome to Wednesday night Basement Door live interviews with the
Hello,
bands.
Kevin.
We've got on here the Circuits as our first part. Circuits are from what, Thames Ditton area, somewhere around over there.
Yeah.
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 Cool. Okay. We're going to ask you to introduce yourselves and what you do in the band. So maybe we start with Nico and then go to Nathan, and he should have been finished his mouth full of food by then. So let's go Nathan, Will, Finn, and then Nathan. Sorry, Nico, Will, Finn, and then Nathan.
Hi, I'm Nico. I play lead guitar.
I'm Will, and I play the drums.
I'm Finn. I'm lead singer and rhythm guitar.
I play the big guitar. And I'm Nathan.
Cool. Okay, so guys, how would you describe your music? What
Brilliant.
sort of like
Amazing.
what sort of
revolutionary.
genre? What sort of genre of feel? So if people have never seen the Circuit before, how would you sort of say what your style is?
Well, we say indie pop, but it's like kind of indie, pretty much. We have different stuff. So like a Bird, the one that's out on Spotify and iTunes at the moment. That's like indie pop, but we like some of our other stuff is more laid back, so it's more kind of just kind of
Like a variety. A lot of it's like some of it's like indie rock, some of it's more pop sort of stuff. So I mean, quite a wide range of stuff.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. We've had you play a few times at the Basement Door and even other gigs as well. So, but it's always been quite an enjoyable experience. We sort of wish that Nathan would clothe himself a bit better sometimes, but it's like can't be helped, can it? It's all part of the act.
Yeah.
So yeah, so we're gonna have one of your songs playing soon, and we're gonna have a listen to that. And in case anyone hasn't, maybe people out there haven't heard, because we've got our YouTube audience, and then we're gonna sort of like maybe people haven't seen you before. But I do recommend seeing Circuits if you can get to see them, and if we do them at Basement Door again, which we hopefully will do at some point, then you can come and see them with us as well. So it'd be good. So let's talk about song, like your repertoire of songs and everything. We talked about your genre and everything. How many songs have you actually got written down? How many have you got recorded? And how many have you actually got out?
Well, we've got one out, but I don't know if I can count the amount of songs that we've written. We have a lot of stuff that we've written and are like ready to record. So yeah, I mean, I don't think I'd count. Does anyone else have an idea of how many we've written?
We've got a lot of things that are small as well.
Yeah.
You've got a lot of stuff that's like half this.
Anything you got to clean your gob.
It's ranch dressing.
And more than 10.
Yeah, definitely.
Very easily.
So this Tim eating is just cracking me up.
I'm hungry.
So have you? I mean, recording wise, where do you like record? I mean, do you have a studio, or do you actually just home record?
Funny story.
A bit of a mix of the two. I have a studio at home that we record in, so we've recorded all of our music there, and it has
in the shed.
Yeah, in the shed, all the facilities that we need to record. Yeah, dodgy.
Not that dodgy. Got a shed. Yeah.
Well, I think some of the people I know that are around Richmond areas, we know a few people around here, and sheds are a big thing now for recording studio. They don't go to these recording studios. They literally get a nice big shed in the garden, soundproof it out, and then you can basically do everything in there. It's like there's quite a few people from quite big bands that around Richmond have sheds in their garden which they record in, and including Pete Pete Townsend's only got I think he's got the one studio, the Grand something or other, which is the Barge one, which is up in London. That's the only one he's got left. The other one's in his place up on Richmond Hill. So yeah.
Paul Weller's got a studio in a shed. I drove past it the other day.
Yeah.
He lives pretty near to me now. We're like 5 minutes away.
Yeah. Yeah, he's a good boy, isn't he? He used to go to. There's a place in Putney which does all these minis, like the classic old minis.
I got one of them.
They did one for Paul Weller. They did one with a sort of a thing on the top of the car.
I
think
got one of them.
Ian
It's
got
in my
one.
garage. I'm building it up. It's my car.
Yeah. What, a mini?
Yeah, an original. I've got an original Clubman.
No, really? I've had about 15 of them, and we need to talk. We need to talk. I'll come and give you a hand because I know some tricks about minis, how to get them sorted out.
Sweet.
So,
Yeah, look.
oh man, that's just like one of the ones I had. Yeah, brilliant. They're really
Look,
good.
I've recently
yeah.
refurbed the whole engine and stuff as well.
Okay. This is see what we miss out on this. We need to know this. So that's
what it looks. That's what it looks like now.
Okay,
it's the
so
998cc.
998. Yeah, standard 998.
Right,
Okay.
Nico and Will, do you understand any of this?
I think us three are really out of the loop here. We
Me and Kev just having a bonding session with cars.
That's nice. I'll happily sit here and watch that.
I had a 19. I bought for 80 quid. I bought a Clubman Estate maroon with the wood trims on the side, like the woody ones.
Oh, well, you got the Estate are quite rare, aren't they?
Yeah. They're beautiful.
Got the doors on the back like that.
Yeah. And then a mate of mine was called the Mini Doctor, and he rang me up one day. Says, "Oh, Kev, we just got a Mini Cooper come in, rear end smash. It's only about 2 years old. You can have all of the front engine, running gear, the lot, disc brakes, everything. It's brilliant." So 400 quid. So I was like, yeah, do it. So I took my card down. He put that in there. That was, oh man, that thing rips. And I had the twin.
Have you still got it?
The centre. No. Went ages ago.
But did you have the two pipes that kind of curve up slightly as they come out?
Just just slightly up as they came out the back, just at the middle of the doors.
I'm getting them.
Like, yeah, it made such a noise, man, and it was so quick. So yeah, sorry guys, we'll catch up. We need to have a little chat about minis because I had loads of minis. But let's go and listen to
more pictures and stuff later.
Let's go and listen to your song, and then we'll come. So this song's called.
It's called Like a Bird.
Like a Bird. Let's go and listen to Like a Bird, and then we'll come back, and then we'll bring the rest of the band into the conversation.
I say what's on my mind. Scared to feel the heat. Looking at the ground. And I'm never coming down. When you turn your eyes away, don't even make a sound. People spreading lies. Those people put you down. So we say we're fine, but we're still hurting. We say goodbye, but no one noticed. Flying like a bird. Flying like a breeze. Flying like a bird. Flying like a breeze. Let us walk into the light of sight and push the memories you hate behind. And I love, no one knows the strength that I pushed aside. So I fall. So we say we're fine, but we're still hurting. We say goodbye, but no one noticed. Flying like a bird. become free.
Cool. Okay, so that's Like a Bird. Pretty cool song.
It's amazing.
And it's been around for a little while, that one, hasn't it? You've been how long has that been out?
January, isn't it?
Yeah, January 11th was when it was
Yeah.
released.
Wow. That rings a bell. What's January 11th? Is that David Bowie's birthday or something, I think, isn't it?
Oh, maybe.
January 11th? I think it's January 11th. It's David Bowie's birthday. Which is really funny because I went out with a girl years ago called Martina, and her birthday was on January 11th, and she had different coloured eyes as well, and it was really freaky because it was like that was what happened on that day. I don't know.
Long lost twins.
Start
So, yeah.
the line.
So how are you doing in I mean, how are you doing in lockdown? What's going on in lockdown? Let's talk to Will a little bit. What have you been doing in your lockdown, mate? I mean, apart from letting the hair grow.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, well, you have got some locks, I won't lie.
I know I had like proper dreadlocks in the back.
Oh wow,
Oh,
cool.
That's disgusting.
I'm currently in Brighton, living with my brother at the moment.
Oh wow, since the beginning, yeah.
A couple weeks ago.
Okay.
Because he does music as well. He's released an album, but in his flat below the house, he's got loads of recording stuff and loads of synths. So I brought my electric drum kit down and we just jammed.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. And what's Brighton like at the moment for people observing lockdown and observing social distancing? Is it difficult or?
Well, as soon as the sun's out, the beaches are packed pretty much.
Wow.
Yeah. But right now, it's been rainy for this week pretty much, so it's all just been quite clear.
Nice and quiet, yeah.
But
I think
I know people are down for the day, which is ridiculous. But...
Yeah, it's difficult, isn't it? Well, I mean, obviously, I was thinking about, with all this hot weather, I've got this motorbike, and I was like, just want to get out and go down to the beach and whatever, And usually, we'll on a summer's day or a hot day, you just get on the bike, go down to the beach area, walk around a bit. Wouldn't sit on the beach too long, walk around the areas and then get back on the bike and then ride home, But I just haven't been able to do it because I just didn't want to risk anything, and stuff like that. So yeah. And we're talking about people's anxiety levels. So how is your individually? I mean, how's your anxiety levels about this thing? Because people have really, either not too worried about it or really fearful about, catching something, catching this
In all
virus.
honesty, I don't care about it.
I had to be really strict about it. I haven't left the house for the first month or so of lockdown.
Yeah.
So that's why it was quite nice to have a kind of change of scenery.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah. What about you, Finn? How you been doing with it?
I work at Domino's, so like at the beginning, I was still allowed to work, so I was like still going and seeing people at work. So it wasn't so bad for me because that was like a couple times a week. So I was actually getting out of the house and meeting other people there, and I worked with some friends, so it didn't really like affect me as much. But like I think the whole thing's like really serious. But now it's kind of like eased up. I'm seeing people like going for a kickabout and stuff. But yeah, it's not great, is it?
No. What about you, Nico? Is it like been difficult for you? Were you saying you were ill at the beginning of the year, though, weren't you?
Well, it was no. This was actually right as the lockdown started. Actually, I think the first 2 weeks before lockdown started, I was ill, and then as soon as I got better, lockdown started, and I had to stay inside anyway. So I didn't get to I didn't get to leave the house after that 2 weeks had ended because lockdown started.
Yeah. I think it's been safe, isn't it? It is a very. I think it's no. I mean, people have misconstrued it. It's no worse than any other sort of common flu virus. The difference being it spreads much quicker.
Mm-hmm.
So, and because we've had flu viruses, we've had like bird flu and stuff, which is containable and manageable because of it doesn't spread as quickly and as easily as this one does. And I think that's been the problem, is recognizing that this is not about it being any more fatal than any of the others, but it's about sort of managing it and its expectation. You can't sort of, if you imagine at Domino's Pizzas, if you turn around and said, well, okay, shop's open and 300 people turn up outside, you're not going to cope with 300 people turning up at your shop, are you?
No.
So you have to
No.
manage things, you know, and that's what
Well,
the
yeah,
NHS has been doing, you know?
Well, there's no collections there, so everything's done by delivery. Like they've had to put precautions in, like the drivers aren't allowed in the shop, and like there have been times where people get annoyed because they've come to the shop to get a pizza, and we've had to turn them away. But yeah, they do it differently because of lockdown. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I've had all the experiences. I've been doing stuff with Food Bank. Obviously, I work for Food Bank in Richmond as well. So I had a couple of weeks of isolation near the beginning, and then I've been absolutely full on since. And the demand for Food Bank has just gone crazy. It's gone really different to what we expected. But there's lots of things. We stopped doing the drop-in with the homeless guys in the morning because of the gathering, and it was like they don't really get the social distancing thing, because for them, meeting up with each other is so important to them as human beings. So it's really hard for them to sort of like just stay away from each other, because they don't want to do that. You know, they want to be with each other, and it's really hard. But we had to follow the government guidelines and also protect them. And we've lost 3 people have died from the sort of food bank area that we work in. So one of our workers, one of our volunteers works in the charity shop last week, and then one of our drop-in ladies, her mum died. So we've lost 3 people already through it, and it's like when it comes that close to home, it's you've got to think about it seriously, and be careful, I suppose, you know. So yeah, Nathan, how have you been coping with lockdown then? Have you been?
Yeah, I've been pretty good. I've been at work, so I haven't really
Obviously.
been, distancing too much, because there's a small farm shop. We can't really distance from each other.
Yeah.
So, like, yeah, it hasn't been too bad. It was a bit hard at the beginning because my parents wouldn't let me go out and see any of my mates, like even like kind of social distancing. But now it's all good because I can go and see my pals again.
Yeah. Well, for a
So
time being, anyway. I mean, it might all go back to lockdown soon if we're things have been happening recently. It's like, you know, yeah.
It does. I'm going to throw hands.
Yeah. I mean, it's just one of those things. I think we have to be just modern day. I think modern day things. We want everything to be really quick, so we don't like. I mean, I'm okay. I'm a bit older, but I mean, I think young people are sort of like they it's an instant thing going on. All the next thing's got to come up, next thing's got to do, and then to be told to sit in and wait and be patient and not to come out and not to meet your friends, it's like it must be really difficult.
Well, yeah, like these are golden years. These are the years of people, and we're like stuck indoors and we can't do anything. It's really
we missed that.
No, continue.
Why am I'm not.
What's that? Finn, we missed that bit because it froze. You just got to a bit and it froze.
Please continue.
Do you want to say that again? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll say it again. So like we're young. Obviously, these are like the years that we can like go out and meet people, and we're kind of like meant to be free to do stuff before we like, kind of get a job and everything. But because we're indoors, we're not really free to like do all of that. So that's probably why it's harder on us young people. Yeah, we're not getting that time to do what we want to do. But yeah.
Yeah, well, we see it at gigs at Basement Door when all the young people come down to gigs at Basement Door and they're just really just having fun together and stuff. You know, it's really cool. I just think back to think, what if this happened when I was a kid? If I was like 16, 17 or even 15 and whatever, we didn't have any social media like this. We didn't have any Zoom. There was nothing, literally, because they were talking about 1981. So 78 to 81, I suppose. That would have been when I was about 15, 16. And then there's none of this at all. So we wouldn't have been able to, if we'd have been locked in, that would have been it. We would have had no, I mean, we could probably get on the phone if we were allowed to, because my dad had a lock on the phone, so you couldn't dial out unless you got the key off him, and then he'd time you on how long you were on the phone for, because it's like, the phone bill. So everything was budgeted.
Just started going.
So that would be a bit mental, like, for then. But you've at least you've got social media. You can FaceTime. You can chat to people and stuff like that. At least you've got that at the moment,
We've got
So
plenty
cool.
of stuff to keep us occupied. I mean, like, yeah, we've got like Zoom and stuff like that to do stuff like this, and that's, you know, I think that's keeping things moving a little bit and allowing us to, especially like music industry stuff like this.
Mm.
You know, without all of this sort of technology, you wouldn't be able to keep up in a lockdown. You know.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's a different world altogether now. So cool. Okay, let's ask you some of these questions that we've got. So I'm expecting some interesting answers from these. We'll ask with our snail question. I don't know if you've heard the snail question, the basement door snail question. Heard that? No? Okay. So if you had a pet snail, what would you call it? Let's go with Nico, Will, Finn, and then Nathan.
Oh, that's very hard. A pet snail.
Mm.
I don't know. I feel like I'd just name it as I'd name any other pet. You know, think of something that relates to me. I don't know, John, after John Lennon.
That was mine.
Good. Okay. Tough. Will?
I have no idea. The snail. I don't know if I can.
Just the snail.
Bit fucking boring.
Right, that's fine.
I
It's
was
fine.
expecting more from you, Will.
So we've got John, the snail. This is
Wait, sorry. He called the snail snail.
Yes.
Yeah, the snail. Yeah.
That's like calling a boy or girl. That's stupid.
You
The
could
snail is a
call
very
it
different
the
thing.
escargot. Call it escargot. It's French. Then would be So
Oh, there you go.
Finn.
Snail. What would I call it? Probably like Sid, because I don't know. It's the name that came. It's the second name that came to my mind. John was first, and then Sid.
Cool.
Sid.
I like Sid the snail because that's
Yeah.
like that could be like
Alliteration.
Sid Vicious, couldn't it as well? Sid Vicious the snail. That'd be like Nathan.
I'll probably just call it Nico or something. I don't know.
Touched, I am.
Okay. Cool. Okay. Right. Okay. Here we go. Individually, bucket list person to play with on stage. Anyone sort of like past or present?
Who's going first?
Oh, it's Nathan.
Oh yeah, I'm actually going to change my answer. Like Paul Weller would be the right laugh to play with, actually.
Yeah, that'd be interesting, wouldn't it? Yeah, wicked.
That'd be good.
Will?
I'm torn. I'm torn between either the Pixies or because I like them a lot, or something completely different with Kendrick Lamar.
Okay.
Just because just the energy on stage.
Kendrick Lamar supported by the Circuits.
Yeah. Great. Finn?
Shittest crossover.
I'm gonna stick my answer with Prince because I feel like playing Purple Rain would just, that's something that I wish I could do.
He was amazing. You know, when he was so you know that his thing was like after a major gig, he would like nip round to a local pub and just say, "Can I play?" and pop into a local pub next to Wembley Stadium, whatever. He'd come out of there and go to a local pub and say, "Listen, can I play some songs?" That was his thing, and you could see him in a pub near the stadium after the gig. You know, if you knew, you could just
A lot
pop in and
cheaper.
see, oh yeah, just amazing. Just love.
I do
playing.
that too.
Very talented guy. Nico, what's your
See, I'm torn as well. I think it would either be something, I know it's probably like cliche, probably a lot of people would say this, but the Beatles, because just of how iconic they are. But I'm also torn between that and maybe a band like the Red Hot Chili Peppers, just because of the amount of energy they bring like to the stage is amazing, and being in a setting with them that would be insane.
be mad, wouldn't it? Wow, that's cool, man. Yeah. Okay, so next question we're going to ask you is sort of more for the band to answer about individual members. So who's the best dancer?
Definitely Nigel.
No.
Without a shadow of a doubt.
Sadly, could not be with us today.
Oh, he's the keyboard player.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Okay, right, cool, yeah.
Yeah, he goes by two names.
Mainly Nigel.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he's by far the best dancer.
Yeah,
Cool.
He moves so much.
He really likes to throw some shapes.
What's who's the most annoying member of the band?
Nathan.
I was going to say I could have answered that one for you, but I thought I'd let you
That's good.
Who's most likely to forget a rehearsal and not turn up to a rehearsal?
Ben.
Funny story, actually. The latest post we put a cover up on our Instagram. I turned up and had 10 minutes to learn the song because I completely forgot we were doing it, and everything was set up, and I managed it in the end, but I'd never heard the song before.
Wow.
Or this, for example, I somehow forgot until like 10 minutes before. And
that's pretty cool, man. Pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's impressive that you managed to learn a song in like 10 minutes without hearing it before.
It's really amazing, isn't it? Yeah. Okay. It's an interesting another one here. I suppose we could ask that. If you weren't in a band, is there something else that you would like to be doing? I mean, because you're in a band, you love the music and everything. So let's go with Nico first, then Nathan, then Will, then Finn. Nico first. So if you're not in a band, what would you be doing?
I mean, obviously, besides if it's like besides music, it will probably just be like photography or something like that. I've been to like plenty of basement door gigs as a photographer like over the years, and that's been something that I've really enjoyed. But so it would either be that or something like music production, because that's what I do anyway now alongside the band.
Cool, that's good. Are you doing that as a study? Music production?
Yeah, I'm studying it at college, and then doing it in my own time with a couple of other guys, just to it's quite fun get some extra money for producing and that sort of stuff.
Yeah, definitely. I think mastering is a thing to get into as well. That's a really good thing to get into. Get to the mastering level, and then you can
got to have a brilliant ear. You got to have a really good ear.
Yeah, definitely. Nathan, what would you be doing? What are you doing, mate? What are you doing right now? Stop what you're doing. What are you doing?
Finding more food. That's what he's doing.
I wish I had more food. I'm fucking starving. I'd probably just be like fixing cars and shit.
Yeah.
That's what I do at college. So.
Okay. Are you both at the same college?
No.
Which college are you at then? So.
I'm at Brooklands.
Okay.
In Weybridge.
Yeah, I know Brooklands, yeah. And Nico, you're at?
I'm at Isha College.
Isha College, okay. So I know both of those quite well, yeah. So Brooklands, I went to, we were going to work with Brooklands College because they had their music department. Have they still got the music department?
I have no idea.
UME 6, one of the guys from UME 6 came out of there. So
I don't really leave my building there. I just stay in the engineering bit.
Okay, yeah.
That's what he's told.
They did have I can't remember the guy's name now, but they had a really good music department, very inclusive. They didn't sort of like say you've got to know all about music to come here. They were very inclusive, people learning music and learning off each other. So it's really cool. But I think it ran out of funding. I think so. Yeah. Will.
Either fashion or jewelry design. I was doing fashion at A level, and I'm going to continue doing that at uni. And then I've just started teaching myself how to make jewelry out of silver and things.
Cool.
During lockdown.
Nice, yeah. So what about the what do you think about the ethics of fashion and all this sort of like green fashion and stuff that's being talked about at the moment?
The last project I did at college, I did an essay about the sustainability of fashion and what happens to clothes after if they don't get sold at secondhand shops and charity shops, and how they all go off to Africa. It's completely destroyed culture. And I think fast fashion and cheap clothes are completely destroying the whole economy and ecosystem of other countries, and it really affects things that we don't see. And making sustainable fashion out of recycled materials is probably the best way forward.
Yeah, definitely.
Because as well as social media, it speeds it up a lot more. Trends get created so much more quickly, and it just leads to people consuming all these fabrics that then just get sent to charity shops. And
yeah, I don't tend to buy clothes very often. I do occasionally when I need to. When my t-shirts are, the arms are crusty with deodorant, or when my jeans have actually worn out, whatever. But I mean, I've got my denim jacket in there, which is 1978 Levi's original denim jacket. I'll keep it because it still fits. It's still worthy. It's still got, and I've got 1970s like leather jackets, car coats, stuff. And I think, well, I'm not going to throw it out because it's a fashion thing
They're
in those
timeless.
days, but it's good quality and it's stayed, and it's like, so I'm not going to throw it out at all. I'm going to keep it and until I can't fit into it anymore, or until it looks ridiculous on me. So yeah, one of the two. It's cool. Okay, so let's go on to Finn then. So Finn, what would you be doing if you weren't doing music?
Probably something to do with geography. Obviously, I want to do music, but I know it's quite boring, but yeah, I'm just good at geography, and I just kind of I want to do it at uni, huh?
Odd flex, but okay.
Yeah, isn't no. I just enjoy it. I know a lot of people hate geography, but I probably will take it at uni, and I have no idea what job you can get from it at all. But
Well,
whatever comes
geography
up,
teacher.
Yeah, geography
No.
teacher. There's Met Office stuff because you're going to do about that. There's geology. The geography opens up a whole world of jobs that are there. If you sort of get into it, and even just travel. It's like
You could be one of those people who
places,
walks along roads and writes the maps. That sounds really exciting.
Yeah.
Well, I'd rather be one of the people who goes into volcanoes. Like going in a volcanologist or a volcanologist, yeah.
Isn't that just some shit from Star Trek?
No,
Is it to do with rubber? Is it to do with rubber volcanology?
I don't know what.
I think it might be to do with rubber rather than volcanoes. I don't know. So anyway, okay, that's a good question. It's nice to find out what you're gonna do if you weren't musicians. It's sometimes quite difficult to ask that question because some people are just like they have no. I think when they're a bit younger than you, because how old are you guys? You're sort of
17,
16.
16.
Yeah.
I'm almost 18.
Yeah, so it's interesting when you talk to sort of like 15, 16-year-olds about this and say, what would you be doing? But they have no other sort of, there's nothing else on the radar at the moment. Music is everything into their life, and they haven't sort of thought about anything else, which is, that's when you're 15, 16.
Wait, should we be answering these questions on Nigel's behalf as well, or just?
No, listen, mate, if he can't be asked to make it, he's going to miss out, isn't he? So.
Yeah, oh.
He's now fuming watching this doing his particle physics.
This is your own fault, Nigel.
Yeah, we'll I don't know what we could do with. He can probably answer. He can do on the live chat if he wants to. He can answer on the live chat on the night.
Oh yeah.
At the broadcast, that'd be good. Yeah, so that'd be good. I think we've asked all the questions in that we need to ask you, or we want to ask you, except for we like to hear about crazy fans. So, have you got any crazy fan stories?
Yeah, our biggest fans are called Burnout.
Okay.
Yeah, because all of them are fucking obsessed with us.
Okay.
Oh my god.
Okay. So that's Hayden and all that lot, yeah?
Yeah, they're just obsessed with us. They can't get enough of us.
Wow.
Their every second thought is like the circuits, the circuits, the circuits, the
Wow,
circuits.
that's incredible.
It's quite...
love. Does that feel like they're sort of harassing you, or is it like, do you feel like sort of just back off, or?
No, I feel like they're just, they're really just in love with everything about the circuits. You know what I mean?
Oh wow, that's really cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's I know we've seen the Burnout play and everything. It's.
I feel sorry for you.
Didn't realise that. Didn't realise they were so in love with you guys. Yeah, it's cool. Okay.
Let's move on.
Let's move on. We're looking forward to sort of maybe you getting some more recordings done and getting an EP done or something and getting out there and
straight into an album.
Yeah. And one of our we have got a possible venue opening up for us over at Hinchley Wood, which we were just talking about before the lockdown. So
what venue is it?
It's a church down on this road. There's a school and a church.
Oh, that's
St George's, isn't it? Yeah, near Hinchley Wood.
Is it by Hinchley Wood School?
Yeah, I think it is. Yeah. So
Yeah.
we looked at it as a venue. And actually, the sound in there is quite good. So we looked at that. The prices are good, and they're quite keen for us to be able to use the building.
It'll be
as
the
a sort
venue
of
around the
thing.
back of the church, I reckon.
Yeah.
Well, we looked at the main hall, the main church hall, which is really
Oh,
nice inside.
the proper,
yes.
like the
So
actual
proper
church.
Yeah. So,
Oh,
because that's quite a nice sort of it's got a really nice sound to it. So we thought, okay, we might be able to use that then. So we're working on sort of something in that area, which is nearer to you, isn't it?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
closer.
So it might be quite good. And I think you've got Stereotyper over that way and Caretakers are over that way as well. So it might be a nice sort of, we might bring you all together and do a gig over that way. We could.
Hope so.
If we get it.
could do.
Everything's up for change at the moment. So yeah, we're just keeping on trying to keep things cracking and moving on. Guys, listen, it's been lovely chatting. Nath, we've got to hook up about minis, mate. Definitely. You're going to have
Definitely,
to
yeah.
chat to you about minis. And I had like years and years and years of minis. You know, my first one was when I was 16, 17, I think, my first mini.
Very nice.
And then I've had about 15 of them, so different variations, and
Yeah.
used to love driving them. And
Fair
some
enough.
really good stories about them as well. So yeah. So
Yeah, we'll have a
good.
chat later about them, stuff like that.
Yeah, good. And then, guys,
Lovely.
we'll catch up with you soon. And thank you so much for doing this. And keep yourself safe.
Been a pleasure.
All right. Okay.
Lovely.
Cheers, guys. See you
See you
soon.
later, Kev. Bye-bye.
Right.
Hi guys, welcome to Wednesday interviews with the bands. This is our second part of our interview. We've got the Hornets, who have lively fingers. The Jazz Stand Hornets. So we're going to be talking to the Hornets about them and their music, and we're going to play a couple of tracks of theirs during this interview. So let's go around first and introduce ourselves. I'm Kev from the Basement Door, and then we'll ask for. So let's go with Harry, Bailey, Rui, and Ollie, and just tell us what you do in the band.
Hello, I'm Harry. I'm the drummer.
I'm Bailey. I play lead guitar and I write most of the songs.
I'm Rui, and I am the singer.
I'm Ollie. I play le bass.
The bass. Okay, cool. We just touched on a couple of little things about Jack Daniels. We'll talk about that in a little while. Okay. So our purpose of doing these is to sort of to give to get through lockdown. I suppose is a little bit is for the Basement Door to have to keep working with bands and keep talking to people and stuff like that. So we're pleased to have you on. And I'm not sure what Rui's doing there. I think he's might be
Oh, sorry.
playing
The thing just kind of.
flight
sorry.
simulator game, is it?
No. It's just the Zoom meeting kind of just went away, so I had to put it back up.
Okay. So what sort of music do you play? Just for people that don't know, what sort of music style are you? What do you actually indulge in?
Well, I
Anybody?
think it's a lot of 60s and 70s influence stuff. I mean, The Who and like rhythm and blues and just any kind of band that came out of that movement is quite big. But a lot of rock and alternative stuff as well. I mean, we all listen to quite a wide range of stuff. So whenever we kind of jam or, write new songs, it kind of blends in that.
Cool. Sounds good. Yeah. So, Ollie, you joined the band, fairly recently, I suppose, isn't it? Really?
Yeah. Back in October last year, after the previous bass guitarist left, and I had a week to learn like 4 songs. So that was like thrown in the deep end.
Yeah, but it's only bass, so it's all right, isn't it?
Oh, wow.
Jade there. Oof.
It's just 4 strings. Okay, so yeah, sorry about that. So Bailey, you say you write the songs and that. So how many songs have you written for the band?
For this band, around 9, I think, not
9.
including unfinished ones.
And have you been in another band then, or is it like, or is that was a clue to sort of something else?
Me and Harry were in a band previously to this one, which lasted for like a few months and wasn't great. Danny from Lost in Blue 8 was in that band with us on bass.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Oh, wow. Okay. Oh, wow. Danny Stuck. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny actually. I was in a band with our old guitarist Arjun and Danny, and then it was a different band after that with me, Bailey, and Danny, and then this one. So yeah, it's kind of weird.
It's good. I noticed a lot of the stuff, like there's lots of interactions with the bands that play at the Basement Door, and I think when you've been together and you do gigs with certain bands, and we try and shuffle the bands up together and that, and then next thing I know is I'm seeing you sort of gigging somewhere else down the road and everything. It's brilliant to see sort of like that you're actually either friends with them already or you've made friends at the Basement Door and everything, and been able to sort of hook up to other gigs as well. So that's pretty cool. So yeah, we're gonna listen to a song of yours now, which is on the upcoming EP. So who wants to tell us which song that is? Bailey.
Okay. The song we're going to listen to is Life After Dark.
Life After Dark. Okay, let's go and listen to Life After Dark.
Nothing to say, nothing to do. You lose your mind and hope to God that you'll pull through. You take your problems, throw them away. But what happens when you reach the day? Welcome to the come down. Everyone has gone to bed. The city lights are far behind you now. Come home and rest your head. No one to talk to, no one to hear. You keep on walking, hoping they will disappear. Nothing to keep you out of the blue. How does it feel to have lost everything you knew? Welcome to the come down. Everyone has gone to bed. The city lights are far behind you now. Come home and rest your head. The subway's inviting. Don't sleep in the streets. There's a friend waiting for you. Just a few more hours till daylight will break, and you'll find somebody new. The subway's inviting. Don't sleep in the streets. There's a friend waiting here for you. Just a few more hours till daylight will break, and you'll find somebody new. Welcome to the come down. Everyone has gone to bed. The city lights are far behind you now. Come home and rest your head. Welcome to the come down. Everyone has gone to bed. The city lights are far behind you now. Come home and rest your head. You might as well be dead.
So there we go. Life After Dark. That was we did that down at the Radar Studios back in March this year. Last thing we did as a Basement Door, I think, with anyone because of the lockdown and stuff like that. So the experience of that studio, how did you all find that? Was it a good laugh?
Yeah, I loved it. I think it was just a nice space to record in. It was a bit different going onto an island to record and going over the bridges and everything. It was quite a nice place.
Yeah. It's a bit. It was. I don't know if what was the weather like then? Was it a bit cold that day? Did it rain or something?
It rained at one point.
Yeah, rain.
Yeah, it did, didn't it? Yeah, and then we had all that lovely weather after. Shame we didn't get the time right. But anyway, yeah, that's the island where I think the water rats used to be, right opposite where we were in that studio. There's that big green building. That's where the water rats used to be. So I went down there many years ago with another band. So yeah, there was a tea break during that recording session where someone opened up this. What was the biscuits or something that someone got opened up that everyone went mad about? Was it Harry? Were you eating a lot of things, or was it Ollie?
No, I think it was Ollie, wasn't it?
Ollie, what was the thing that you got out there? Everyone was like, "Oh, he's got those." No, hang on. I think it was a load of
Purple Starburst.
Here we go.
Wow.
Yes, that was it.
I think I'm addicted to Purple Starburst.
No, it's not a thing. You are addicted to Purple Starburst.
I can stop whenever I want.
We sometimes trick Bailey by hiding Purple Starburst around gigs to freak him out.
Okay.
At our last one, I had like 5 or 6, and I just started like placing them on them. And he was like, "Where are these coming from?"
So I never even knew Purple Starburst existed. Sorry, Bailey.
I get free Starburst, so I don't mind.
You get free? How'd you get free Starburst?
From me hiding.
Okay. Right, I see. I thought you had some sort of connection with the company or something. It's like cool. Okay. So we've got to ask you some questions as well, and we're going to listen to another song in a little while. Bailey, just behind you on as we're looking at your left, there's a figurehead, a box. What's the box called?
Donny McLaughlin.
Johnny
Yes.
McLaughlin,
Yeah.
who is the 5th member of the Hornets, yeah? And
I say we burn him.
so I keep on forgetting he's going to turn up, and then all of a sudden I turn up and oh no, he's here again. He turns up on stage, and that he's sort of just either at the beginning of the show or just sometime during the show he turns up, which is like it's really annoying because he's just so inanimate, really. So let's go. let's go and have a look at a listen to Tunnel of Love now, which has been done in your lockdown sessions. Do you want to tell us about what you've been doing with these lockdown sessions that you've been doing on your YouTube channel?
I mean, we just decided every week on Fridays to record and release just a cover of a song that we like, and yeah, so we decided to do our original this time, Tunnel of Love, and it went pretty nicely.
Good. Okay, let's go and listen to Tunnel of Love.
Now there's a particular attraction that only comes around once a year. At the end of July you'll find that it just about disappears. So grab yourself a gun and head down to the fairground, 'cause where you're going you better keep it smooth and don't even make a sound. Down in the fairground, down past the roller ring, down in the tunnel of love. could break a young heart while you're there. It can happen to anyone. So people, take care. Make your way down there in any car you can find. 'Cause in the tunnel of love, you're gonna leave your woes behind. Down in the fairground, down past the roller, and down in the tunnel of love. That's where you'll find me. On a Saturday afternoon, that's where you'll find me. And down in the fairground, down past the roller, and down in the tunnel of love. Okay. That's where you'll find me. On a Saturday afternoon, that's where you'll find me. Down in the fairground, down past the rolling, down in the tunnel of love. 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 Down in the tunnel of love.
Cool. So that was Tunnel of Love, done from the lockdown sessions on your YouTube. And I've been watching those. They're really good. And I think you've done Rui, don't touch Spider-Man.
I'm sorry.
And, there's I think you did Jam in the City, which is Jam. I used to love the Jam. I still do love the Jam. I don't know why I said I used to, because I still love them. I think they're brilliant. I think he's just a fantastic guy. So right, so let's ask you some questions, and then we'll be wrapping up this time. So if you had a snail, a pet snail, what would you call it? And let's go with Harry, Bailey, Rui, and Ollie.
I think Gary Barlow.
Cool, Gary Barlow, that's good, yeah. Bailey. Slug.
Spider.
Spider.
Because he's so fast, Sonic.
Sonic, okay. It's interesting. Right, but this will all become clear. The snail question has a purpose. It's got a thing at the end of the. I don't know whether we do it at the end of the lockdown or whether we do it like before that, but there's a whole purpose behind it. Which is the most annoying band member?
Bailey.
Bailey.
Okay. That's changed.
Wait, Ollie, come on.
I was going to say me. I'm quite annoying.
I just say you're odd.
Right, who's the best dancer in the band?
Harry.
Harry. Okay. Who's always late?
Rui.
Rui. Cool. And who's most likely to forget to do a rehearsal, to come to a rehearsal?
Rui.
Do you know, it's funny, there's always a band member that has this problem. There's always somebody. I think it was Digby in the last one we did with the Riverside, isn't that? So, right, so bucket list person to play with individually, who would you love to be, like past, present, or future? Past, present, or future, can't have a future star because you could just name anybody and they could be someone we don't know. Past or present, who would you be a bucket list person to play with on stage? Let's go with Ollie, Bailey, Rui, and then Harry.
Lou Reed.
Richie Blackmore.
Nice.
Dave Grohl.
Dave Grohl.
Aretha Franklin.
Cool. That's really interesting, isn't it? Sort of like the two sort of groovy, sort of soulful things, and then two more hard rocky stuff. That's cool. Okay. Right. Should we do one more question? And then we'll move on. This might fit in with the dreaded JT. Crazy fan stories. So if you don't talk about this, I will. So a crazy fan story. So can we just Bailey set up?
I don't think we can include that.
I think
I
this
think
one
it'd
is
be
safe.
quite funny.
How risque can we go?
Well,
what if they're watching this? Then they'll come after us.
can we
With a Jack
can we
Daniels
talk about
bottle.
it in a
Even
yeah?
just mentioning it, we're risking our safety.
They are these people sort of they're quite fans anyway, aren't they? So they might be. Yeah, it might be a bit risky, but okay. We just say we have there's a JD story there. Is there any other crazy fan stories you want to talk about?
Oh, don't have much crazy
Fan
fans,
art,
really.
apparently. Someone did fan art, apparently.
Yeah, someone made some fan art of me.
All right, that's
That
cool.
was nice. Yeah.
We
Have you
had
got-
that guy on New Year's who walked up to the stage and started.
Oh man,
It started to do what?
I think he was having a good time. He drunk a lot. I think he was trying to get everyone to come up and stand at the stage, but it seemed quite aggressive the way he was screaming.
It's quite scary.
Yeah, some people are like that, and they want the stage. So, yeah, and we'll finish up in a second then. Your EP. When are you thinking about releasing this EP? When's it actually gonna come out?
I think we're gonna do it once lockdown's over, because we did, we were planning to have some EP launches and some events based around it to kind of, kick it off. But obviously we can't do that at the moment, so I think we're just gonna have to wait.
Cool. Okay. Yeah. What was that, baby?
Hopefully this year, though.
This year, yeah. That'd be good, wouldn't it? Yeah, it'd be really nice. We're missing doing gigs so much. I mean, it's really nice to catch up with people online here and everything, but it's just live gigs are so cool, and that's why we do what we do. So yeah. So it's been nice chatting with you, and hopefully we'll get to see you live again soon. Please keep up doing these online things. These songs that you're doing are fantastic. The first one, when I saw the first one go up, I thought that is so cool. It's really good, and I think there's probably a lot of bands, if we sort of say to them they could do this if they have if they have Bailey's skills to edit things together. But a lot of bands are sitting tight and thinking, how do we rehearse? How do we get this all synced in nicely because of the latency and stuff? And I think you have to do it. You have to do it sort of you record that bit, you record that bit, and whatever, and then just put it together in a video rather than actually trying to do it live, because it's just near enough impossible to do it live. There's always that sort of latency with different Wi-Fi strength and everything. So yeah. Anyway, enough from me. So we'll say goodbye to Danny DeVito, to Spider-Man, to the Duck, and to the Box Head, which I can never remember the name of. What's the name of the Box Head thing?
Johnny McLaughlin.
Johnny McLaughlin. Okay, and we thank you very much, Hornets, for doing the interview with us. Stay safe, and we'll see you all again soon. All right. Cheers, guys.
Goodbye.